again, let me thank everybody for being here today. Had a wonderful slide show down there. Those of you that missed the slide show, you missed something. It was wonderful. It always is with Mack. Actually, I did see Senator Henry come by, Mack. He came by. He was in the middle of a couple things.
He said he couldn't find a place to park.
Well, so for all I know, we may be adding some property after today, so we can park. But anyway, Senator Henry spoke to him, came by, so that's going to be a long break. I apologize. We got a couple things going. Free from Friends of Radnor Lake. I'll be next to him. I want to say one thing about Friends of Radnor Lake and the staff here at Radnor Lake. Any good thing you hear about Radnor Lake really needs to be directly attributed to the staff. And my role, park manager here, basically the staff is making it look good. That's what they do. Linnea Welch over here with the bird. We got Randy Hedgepath, Bill Morgan was worked early this morning. They do all kinds of environmental education programs and things. They do it 7 days a week. They don't stop. They're kind of like Timex. They're relentless. And the credit really goes to them. A lot of kind words said today. Friends of Radnor Lake, another integral part of what we do here. During all the tough times that Mack talked about during the slideshow, being closed 2 days a week and all that, it's nice to have friends. I mean that. It's just, it's good. A lot of people that were really essential to Radnor Lake first getting set aside, Dr. Yates, we were talking during the break, and it's just good to see those that were involved in back. We had our history night a few weeks ago. Saw people that played a major role in getting Radnor set aside initially, and that's where the credit lies. So I appreciate everybody's time and effort and energy and all the praise, and everybody's had great things to say, but the staff really deserves credit. Friends of Radnor Lake, they've been super. So the next gentleman I'm going to introduce is Joe Freed. He is the president of Friends of Radnor Lake. Joe is in his second year as president. Joe and I both kind of came on board here at Radnor Lake about the same time. We both dove in, I believe, head first, Joe, would be the way I would put it. And we both had to learn together. I grew up here in Nashville. Joe lives here somewhere close, and we both love Radnor Lake, and we've kind of learned and grown together. Friends of Radnor Lake, it's just been wonderful. Ann Tidwell also, same. Several members of Friends of Radnor Lake here I can't speak more about. But Joe, I'm going to introduce Joe. He's going to speak for just a few minutes, and we're going to move forward. And after that, we'll have a couple programs going. We'll have the Birds of Prey going. And then Dennis Gibson has got a special program. This is the only time, we'll be doing it twice this year. One is for his biology class here in a few weeks. We're going to go there and play in the water one day. But he has agreed to come in today, and we're going to do a couple things. He's an expert at some of the biology things that we do at the lake, and it's really neat stuff going on over here with what Dennis has got going on. And then Randy Hedgepath. What time's your hike, Randy? 4 or 5, whenever we get done. After 4 o'clock, we'll have a hike. Randy will be leading that. It'll be wonderful. And I would encourage you to tag along with that. And you're welcome to stay to sunset. So
One more item is see Troy Adler still on the phone.
Yes.
With the spotting scope. And everybody wants to take a look through his eyes. Thanks, Jim.
Troy was nice to come out today. Troy works at Tennessee Wildlife
Here's
Resource.
Dr. Elsie Quarterman.
Yes, Dr. Quarterman. Anyway, I will end there, but Joe Freed, you come on up. And again, thank you for coming out today. Cheers, Joe.
Yeah, again, thanks everybody for coming out today. About 4 years ago, John Netherton, who was our president at the time, came up with the idea that we should have an award each year to honor at least one of the people who've done so much in helping protect Radnor over the many years. 30 years since we became a state national area. So I guess this is the 3rd annual Friends of Radnor Lake Environmental Award. This year, we wanted to have a second special award just this year to someone else who's done so much for Radnor, even before the 30 years. So we wanted to give a special award to Carrie Macklier, who for 3 decades was out here living right up there in that house as the caretaker for Radnor. And I'd really just like Ms. Macklier to come up and be able to say something. So I want to say this quick. We're giving this stained glass award that was designed by Mr. Norris Dumont, who's been doing this for 20 years. And just a very small token. What we just wanted to do to say our appreciation for you deserve a lot more than this.
After we moved here, that was pretty cotton trees. And I kept saying, let's go put that down. John, I don't know.
It's inside.
I got some.
Like little berry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Glass flower seeds.
Children were little, and I like he's 3 years old, almost grown. And but we made it. And every morning when they go out the door, we had a lot of rattlesnakes and copperheads like that. I said, watch for the snake and not fall in the lake. And that was every morning. But we just had a lot of good times. We had a lot of times that, it was hard times. Go by when I lost a husband, all the jobs became mine. So I wonder if I'm looking up for this. And so, day by day, just take care of us, take care of us. Me around. And I sure appreciate this. Glad to see everybody here. Feel like, maybe we'll do this again sometime. Some of the rest.
For those of you who haven't noticed, there's been a permanent display right back here honoring Miss Mathie's board. So, you'll get more information than she wanted to share by reading that, I guess. Well, our next award is our third annual environmental award. The first award went to Senator Henry, who's done so much, and the second one to Oak Hill Mayor Wilkerson. And this year's recipient, as I'm sure everyone here has probably went to that wonderful slideshow, has done so much for Radnor and so many other places. Since I haven't been around very long, and Ann Tidwell's been around since day one, and has known him so many years, I'd like her to come up and talk a little bit about Mack Prichard. In fact, you want me to get
This is going to be easy for all of you who saw that slideshow. Because you saw how he was here at Radnor the whole time, from the beginning. And you saw how he was everywhere else in the state and the nation that needed to be for conservation and environment preservation and everything else. And so really, I could not say anything and just go on with it. But I hope you all are comfortable, because I'm not going to do that. Just going to tell a few little stories. And one is, and he picked on one of the things that he passed out with a lot of stuff, and it said he was a founding member of 26 different organizations. And I've known him a long time, but I did not know that. I knew that he's been on the board of the Tennessee Environmental Council, the Tennessee Scenic Rivers Association, the Nature Conservancy, and the Middle Tennessee Conservancy, and the Tennessee Trails, and the Ornithological, and the Audubon. Just name an environmental or conservation group in this state. And he has certainly been on the board of it, or founded it as president. He's also behind the scenes. He's the person, when we, Friends of Radnor Lake, got our advisory committee, he and Senator Henry were the first two people that we thought of, because forever we asked their advice when we wanted to do something. How to do it, what are the facts, what's the protocol as far as the state government's concerned and so forth. And so he has served on our advisory committee since it's been founded too. He's passionate, he's knowledgeable, he's articulate. He knows the biology of everything and the archaeology and the zoology, and he just knows the facts. He researches. He's a tireless worker. I'm afraid that several of us have imposed on him greatly in the past by asking him to quickly give a slideshow, and he has 3 other things, or 5 other things to do that day, but he'll stay up till 2 o'clock or all night or whatever and do whatever. He shouldn't, and we shouldn't ask, and I told him.
It's the only time you ever get a chance to do it.
But we do. But he also, and this is one of the things I love about him, he gives the credit to other people, always. And he thanks other people, always. And he's the one who makes things happen, but he doesn't want anybody to know that. Once, and I don't remember which governor it was, because he's lobbied and made a pest of himself is what he would say, but he's tried to educate every governor we've had and every commissioner. He just often will know more about a situation, and he doesn't want them to make mistakes. He's a good, loyal, and steady person. One time, there was some issue, and I don't really remember what it was, but it was a lot of work and a lot of, you know, writing letters and articles in the paper and letters and all this stuff that we do. And then the governor did the right thing. And everybody else just said, oh, fine, good, that went on. Maybe a few people like things, I don't know, I didn't. Mack Prichard sent him a dozen roses to the governor. Thank you so much. You know, not, you know, just a thank you. That's the kind of thing to appreciate, to remember, and it was the right thing. This Thursday, Karen Bird and Bob Robinson got a nice article in the paper on Mack. I hope you all saw it. It was in the AM section, and it was right. It told of some tiny bit of the many, many things he's done. And yet, his reaction when he saw it was, oh no, it's all about me. He didn't mention all the other people who did even more. You know, there were other people there too. I didn't do it all by myself. He called up and complained. Incredible. So we're not going to give you, I don't have a dozen roses for you. I couldn't have enough, and they were like, but this is this, which our own Victoria Jackson designed, and Doris DeMott. This is for you. This is with us, and I really appreciate it, as we all do. All you do.
Well, I guess I'm about speechless because I just speechified a while ago. This is really incredible. Very moving. I have a morning bedroom window, which I look out on the Cumberland River every morning. I'm 90 feet from the water. This is where this is going to go. I'm going to always have it done. This stuff, this place is so special. Every one of them. Just keep making it so. It's just marvelous. See, I see so many new friends and old friends as well. And Ann was telling about the flowers that I sent. I remember another time when the governor was going to put a prison in front of Scripper Forest, so I sent him a Norfolk pine with a little black bordered card that said, in memory of the trees you're about to cut down. And I was told he spent a good bit of the day trying to dial a watch line to fire me, but he couldn't find me. I was in the woods. But Winfield, there wouldn't have been a Radnor without him. And over the years, every other government has done about the same thing. They wouldn't be. Just wouldn't, every one of them. I remember Ned coming over here one day, and he said, I enjoyed it so much, it reminded me of back in the woods back in Wake County. I stayed too long. So I was in my old Jeep and my khakis. When I got back to the mansion, they changed and had a young guard on. He said, who are you and what do you want? He says, oh, I don't really want anything. But he says, you know, I guess I did stay too long at Radnor. No, I don't think any of us can stay too long here at Radnor. And I just know we're going to keep doing this. And as I said, I'm a little dismayed to have been caught up with here with this award. But I thank you all from the bottom of my heart.
Mack is too gracious. In all this program here, nobody has really ever said what role Mack really did play in saving Radnor Lake. If there hadn't been a Mack Prichard, I guarantee that it would not have been done because I was there. In 1972, I had the good fortune and the privilege of working for Winfield Dunn as his environmental policy advisor, and I was the liaison to the Conservation Department. The Natural Areas Act had been passed the year before, and the Conservation Department was supposed to come up with a list of natural areas for the state to pursue. Guess who was in charge of making out the list? Mack Prichard. And I was the liaison, so I worked with Mack on coming up with the list. And he had Radnor Lake on the list. And the commissioner, who was Bill Jenkins, and I kept saying, Mack, that will never work. That's going to cost over $3 million. It'll never work. Forget it. Mack, you talk about being passionate. Mack was passionate. In 3 months, he had Bill and me convinced, along with other people like Elsie and Lee Overton and Oliver Yates, who had worked on us, because Mack took us around one by one and had all these people preach to us. And finally, Bill and I were convinced if it hadn't been for Mack, not just his knowledge, but his passion for Radnor Lake, we would have never even mentioned it to the governor. But sure enough, he got us all fired up. Bill and I went to see the governor, and we convinced him to put up $3 million worth of state money to buy this place, on the condition, of course, that the citizens come up with the other $500,000, which you did. A lot of you did. But if it had not been for Mack Prichard not only putting it on the list, but continuing to pound on us for 3 or 4 months to convince us that it was worth making fools of ourselves and going up to see Winfield Dunn and said, no, Governor, we want $3 million for this one natural area out of, it was 1 out of 17. If it hadn't been for Mack pounding on us, you wouldn't be seeing trees here, you'd be seeing houses. So Mack, it was your passion that did this, the whole thing.
Again, Ed's being a little modest himself. If Ed had not been in the position of being an environmental advisor for the government, we wouldn't have had the ore in the water that we had. As Winfield Dunn's favorite Mississippi expression I love, let me put an oar in the water for you. And Ed put an oar in the water. He also ran this thing by Ted Welch, who was no slouch when it comes to money. And everybody, to hear Ed tell it, everybody thought, oh, Welch is going to kill it because it's too much money. The state's not got that kind of money. But what did Welch say?
Ted said there must have been 15 or 20 people in the room when we made our pitch, and we'd gotten everybody, we got the whole policy staff, we'd gotten Lee Smith, we'd gotten everybody to agree that this was the thing to do. We forgot Ted Welch. So Ted Welch showed up, and after all of us made our pitch to the governor said, Ted, you're the one with the money, what do you think? He said, Governor, I think we ought to do it. He said, this place is so close to Nashville, and so many people will get to enjoy it, that in terms of enjoyment per dollar spent, it would probably be the cheapest one in the state. So Ted Welch is your unsung hero.
I just want to quickly say, Mack is modest and an inspiration to all of us, and he is the wind beneath a lot of women. And he has a saying that I just love, when he's always trying to give the credit to someone else. He says, we need to put the big hat on. So Mack, you